very perplexing situation.
Have you ever found yourself daydreaming about a different time? Not just any time, but the time, the one you feel in your bones you were truly meant for? A golden era filled with your absolute heroes, where life just seemed richer, more exciting, more real? Well, hello everyone, and a very warm welcome. Today, we're going to take a magical journey, a literal stroll through time, as we explore the charming and thought-provoking film Midnight in Paris. We'll wander through its captivating story, scene by scene, and then we'll try to gently unwrap some of the beautiful, deeper ideas nestled within this truly enchanting movie. And hey, if you're someone who loves films that spark a little magic in your heart and get your mind whirring, then please do consider hitting that subscribe button. We've got so many more cinematic worlds to explore together, and you won't want to miss a single one. Our story begins, as many great adventures do, with a trip. We meet Gil Pender, a Hollywood screenwriter. Now, Gil's successful. He makes good money writing movie scripts, but deep down, he's not really fulfilled. He feels like a sellout, yearning to write something more meaningful, a novel that truly reflects his soul. He's in Paris with his fiancée, Inez, and her parents. And let me tell you, Inez and her folks are, well, they're a different breed. They're wealthy, practical, and frankly, they look down their noses at Gil's romantic notions. Gil is head over heels in love with Paris. Not the modern bustling city, but the Paris of the 1920s. He imagines cobblestone streets shimmering in the rain, smoky cafes filled with artists and writers, the air alive with ideas. He's trying so hard to pour this passion into his novel. You can almost feel his yearning, can't you? He walks around with this dreamy look in his eyes, imagining Hemingway arguing in a cafe or Fitzgerald penning a masterpiece. Inez, however, just doesn't get it. Not even a little bit. She's more interested in shopping for expensive furniture and planning their Malibu wedding. She's constantly dismissing Gil's dreams, calling his love for the past unrealistic. And then there's Paul. Paul is a friend of Inez's, a college professor who seems to be an expert on absolutely everything, or at least he thinks he is. He's pedantic, a total pseudo-intellectual, and he never misses a chance to correct Gil or show off his supposed knowledge, which often turns out to be not quite right. He's dating Carol, Inez's other friend, and the four of them spend a lot of time together, much to Gil's quiet agony. You can see Gil shrinking a little every time Paul opens his mouth. It's clear that Gil feels like a complete outsider with this group. He's a romantic, surrounded by cynics and materialists. One evening, after a rather painful wine-tasting dinner where Paul, naturally, pontificates endlessly about the different vintages, Gil decides he needs some air and opts to walk back to their hotel alone. Inez isn't thrilled, but Gil insists. He wanders through the beautiful ancient streets of Paris, getting pleasantly lost. There's a magic to Paris at night, isn't there? As he sits on some stone steps, feeling a bit dejected and perhaps a little tipsy from the wine, the bells of a nearby church begin to chime midnight. Suddenly, an old-fashioned Peugeot, a car straight out of the 1920s, pulls up beside him. The people inside, dressed in period clothing, are laughing and clearly heading to a party. They beckon him to join them. Confused, intrigued, and maybe just wanting an escape, Gil, after a moment's hesitation, decides, why not? He climbs in, and just like that, in the blink of an eye, Gil Pender is swept away. The car pulls up to a lively party, and as he steps out, he hears Cole Porter himself playing Let's Do It on the piano. He sees a couple who look strikingly familiar. It's Scott Fitzgerald and his vivacious, if volatile, wife Zelda. They greet him warmly, mistaking him for a fellow partygoer. Gil is utterly bewildered, completely starstruck. Can you even begin to imagine what that would feel like? To suddenly find yourself surrounded by the very legends you've idolized your entire life? It's a dream? It has to be. But it feels so incredibly real. Scott is charming, Zelda is captivating, and for the first time in what feels like forever, Gil feels a spark of genuine excitement. This incredible journey doesn't stop there. Night after night, Gil makes his way back to those same steps. As midnight strikes, the magical car reappears, ready to transport him to his beloved 1920s. Each night is a new adventure, a fresh encounter with another icon. He meets the macho, intense Ernest Hemingway in a bar who, in his typically blunt way, offers to have Gil's novel read by the influential writer and art collector Gertrude Stein. Imagine getting writing advice from Hemingway. Gil is then taken to Gertrude Stein's salon, a legendary gathering place for artists and writers. She listens patiently as he talks about his novel, offering insightful, if somewhat stern, criticism. It's there he also encounters Pablo Picasso, who is deep in conversation about his latest painting, and, importantly, Picasso's beautiful and enigmatic mistress, Adriana. Gil finds himself increasingly drawn to Adriana. She's intelligent, soulful, and possesses a quiet allure that captivates him. She, too, seems to feel a connection with Gil. There's a shared sensitivity, a sense that they both understand something deeper about art and life. It's complicated, of course. He's engaged, she's with Picasso, but there's an undeniable spark. What's fascinating is that Adriana, despite living in what Gil considers the ultimate golden age, confesses that she herself dreams of an earlier, more beautiful era, the Belle Époque Paris in the 1890s. It's a little seed of an idea planted, isn't it? This longing for a different past. As these nightly escapades continue, Gil becomes more and more detached from his daytime reality with Inez. The contrast between the vibrant, inspiring world of the 1920s and the mundane, often frustrating present is jarring. He tries, quite unsuccessfully, to share his experiences with Inez. He tells her he's met Hemingway and Picasso. Naturally, she thinks he's either joking or, worse, developing a brain tumor. Her skepticism, her complete lack of understanding, or even curiosity drives a deeper wedge between them. Their relationship was already showing cracks, but now it's starting to seriously fracture. Inez, meanwhile, is spending more and more time with Paul. It becomes increasingly obvious, at least to the audience, that she's having an affair with him. Gil suspects it too, but he's so caught up in his magical nights that he doesn't fully confront it. Not yet. You can feel his loneliness in the present, even as he's having these extraordinary experiences in the past. It makes you wonder what he's truly searching for. The magic of Paris doesn't stop with the 20s. During one of his nighttime journeys with Adriana, as they talk about her longing for the Belle Époque, a vintage horse-drawn carriage suddenly appears. They step inside, and just like Gil was transported to the 20s, they are both swept further back in time, arriving in the Paris of the 1890s, Adriana's dream era. They find themselves at Maxim's, the famed restaurant, and then at the Moulin Rouge, surrounded by the artists she idolizes, Henri de Toulouse, Lautrec, Paul Gauguin, and Edgar Degas. Adriana is absolutely ecstatic. This is her golden age, her ultimate fantasy come to life. She tells Gil she wants to stay here, in this past, forever. And it's in this moment, watching Adriana experience the same awe and desire that he felt for the 20s, that Gil has his profound epiphany. He sees her looking at the Belle Époque with the same rose-tinted glasses he wore for the Lost Generation. He hears Gauguin and Degas complaining about their own time and romanticizing the Renaissance. It hits him like a thunderbolt. This golden age thinking, this belief that a previous era was inherently better, happier, or more inspiring, is a fallacy. It's a beautiful illusion, a romantic trap. He realizes that every generation likely looks back and idealizes a past they never knew. He understands that happiness isn't about when you live, but how you live in your own present. This realization is a massive turning point for Gil. It's like a weight has been lifted. He gently explains to Adriana that he can't stay in the past, not even her beautiful Belle Époque, because he's finally understood that the present, his own flawed, sometimes frustrating present, is where he belongs. It's the only place life is actually happening. He says goodbye to Adriana, a bittersweet parting, as she chooses to remain in the 1890s. Gil returns to his own time, but he's a changed man. He knows what he needs to do. He confronts Inez about her affair with Paul, which she admits to rather casually. He breaks off their engagement. It's not angry or dramatic. It's quiet, decisive. He's finally choosing himself, his own happiness. He decides to leave his lucrative but unfulfilling Hollywood career behind and move to Paris permanently to finish his novel and live the life he's always dreamed of. Not in the past, but now. In the film's lovely final scene, Gil is walking along the Seine, again at midnight. He bumps into Gabrielle, the charming French antique dealer he'd met briefly earlier in the film, who shares his love for Cole Porter. It begins to rain, and Gabrielle mentions she loves Paris in the rain. Gil, who earlier in the film stated that Paris is at its most beautiful in the rain, something Inez scoffed at, smiles. They decide to walk together. It's a hopeful, open-ended conclusion, suggesting that by embracing his present, Gil has finally opened himself up to genuine connection and happiness. Midnight in Paris, directed by Woody Allen and released in 2011, winning an Oscar for its screenplay, is really a charming look at nostalgia. It shows how we often dream of a golden age, believing the past was somehow better than our own time. But Gil's journey, meeting his heroes from the 1920s, cleverly reveals that this is mostly an illusion. Even people in those supposedly perfect times were often unhappy or longed for an even earlier era. The film suggests that getting too caught up in an idealized past can actually stop us from finding happiness right where we are. Paris itself acts almost like a dreamscape, a beautiful setting that means one thing to romantic Gil and something entirely different to practical Inez. Ultimately, Gil learns that inspiration and true contentment don't come from escaping to another time, but from embracing your own present, flaws and all, and living your life authentically. It's a lovely message, isn't it? In the end, Midnight in Paris is such a wonderfully warm and wise film. It's like a comforting cup of tea on a rainy day. It just makes you feel good, but it also leaves you with something to ponder. It's undeniably a love letter to the city of Paris, to the enduring power of art, and to all the dreamers out there who feel a little out of step with their own time. But more than that, it's a gentle, empathetic reminder to find the wonder, the beauty, and yes, even the magic in our own ordinary, everyday lives. It doesn't scold us for our nostalgic yearnings, but it does lovingly suggest that the golden age searching for might just be the one we're living in right now, if only we have the courage to embrace it. Gil's journey is a beautiful arc from escapism to active participation in his own story. He learns that inspiration isn't something you find by stepping into a Hemingway novel. It's something you cultivate by living authentically. I'd absolutely love to hear your take on Midnight in Paris. What resonated most powerfully with you? Was there a particular historical figure Gil met that you were most excited to see, or a line of dialogue that stuck with you? Please, share your thoughts and feelings in the comments below. I truly enjoy reading them. Thanks so much for tuning in today, and I really look forward to exploring another fantastic film with you all very soon.